G'day, guys. So, incredibly, this is week 5 of the Legacy program. It's just been epic and awesome. I've loved every minute of it. It's allowed me as well to kind of reflect on my way of doing and being. And I kind of like that concept of intertwining the doing and the being. So, in other words, the idea of the doing is really fueled by action. It's fueled by getting things done, getting shit done as it's often professed, right, in marketing circles. All of us have our stories that allow us to reshape and change our destiny. And so these are the lessons coming from my particular story. And ultimately, guys, it's about the inner path of leadership. It's about us rising up, right, and allowing others to rise alongside of us. I always talk about this, whether we're, fully in the health or fitness space, but otherwise, guys, these are principles for anyone and everyone. There's been some exciting developments, guys, that I'm going to hear from shortly, reading Josh's review on the back of his Physio Summit. I'll start with Josh, just, a key share, a key win, perhaps a struggle, if there is a struggle, but I read your review and some exciting developments. You've come out of where you were, 2 weeks ago, in this sort of turmoil, in a sense, this turmoil that was unfolding, given the lockdowns and everything else. So I think all of us would love to hear a bit about that, Josh. I will close my gab and let you speak.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everyone. I was so excited to write that review because I had, I feel like you've tapped into a new phase of yourself. 3 weeks ago was the lockdown, and we haven't been seeing clients physically. So all physios basically in the Philippines are, we don't have work. Some are luckier than others. I'm one of the luckier people, and there are people who are not. So what I did was I reached out to them. There was a Facebook group for all the physios in the Philippines, and apparently there's 14,000 of us in the Philippines at least registered, just to ask who wants to team up, team up and let's do something on the lines of telemedicine or telerehabilitation, because it's not organized in the Philippines. Like, everyone has been doing their own thing, but me myself, I've hit a wall already. I couldn't get more clients because I've exhausted my network. And apparently everyone's done the same. So all the physios I've interviewed, so I've put together through that Facebook post, I was inundated with emails. There was at least 100 people who reached out to me and say, hey, I want to be part of the team. And I was really, I was shocked. I didn't expect it. Well, I kind of expected it, but when it's there, it's something else. When you just receive, 5 emails every hour. I managed to put together a group of 20 physios all over the Philippines, right? So I interviewed each one of them and I said, hey, this is my idea. What do you think? So I just got feedback from everyone. So regardless of what sector they're serving, because if you've been in Asia, you see, and I think this is also prevalent in lower and middle income countries, the gaps in socioeconomic demographics is very, very visible. You've got your rich, you have the middle class, and then the poor. And then concurrently, while I am doing these interviews of these physios, I actually got a bursary grant, free access to the World Physiotherapy Congress. And I've heard of this because one of my professors before was presenting in the Congress. So he said, hey guys, World Physiotherapy, our global organization, is giving out at least 100, bursary grants to physios in middle to lower middle and to lower income countries. And I said, yeah, why not? Why not give it a shot? And I got it. And I was one of the, people. I was just really honest with, my situation. I'm in a higher income city. So that means I have access to people who can change, the landscape. I have access to the politicians, to the celebrities. I'm going to use this to leverage off my network that I've built over time, to make sustainable change. And I said, hey, it's coming together. I think this is where the synchronicity comes in. I've always been one of the physios who never thought of working overseas as a primary goal, because that's like how we're conditioned to be. Get your degree and get out of the Philippines. So that's why our profession doesn't grow, because people are just, they're just in it for the degree, and then they just go to Australia, go to the US to migrate, and bring my whole family outside the Philippines. So that's reality. But for me, it's like, if I could be a part of the solution to that, if I can provide a venue for physios to not necessarily, think of this as a survival or a gateway to a better future for them and their family, and actually contribute to improving people's lives, then maybe we can create sustainable change. Then maybe we can, get proper funding for, from resources. Because I don't believe the Philippines is poor. It's just the wealth distribution is not standard. I looked up into, existing research about telehealth or telerehab, and apparently there was a research done already for the Philippines. And this was from the Philippine General Hospital, where I got my training. I'm not just getting ideas out of thin air. I'm basing it from science. It's been outlined. What are the issues? Why did telehealth not work in rural communities? Because of internet, because of access, etc. So I said, okay, here's how we'll bridge that. Trying to solve it in real time. And it's like accepting that it's not going to be perfect, accepting that in the first 6 months of this venture, it's going to be ups, it's going to be ups and downs. We're probably not going to make money yet, but we will, eventually when we get it right. So what I did was because I've been doing my own practice online for over a year, so I'm lucky. So I said, I'm just going to scale up that process, my booking process online, how people are getting their Zoom links, how they're getting their payments. I'm just going to blow that up, onto a bigger scale, and then see from there, and then get ideas from everyone who's practicing in a rural community or another city, and then, perfect the process eventually. And yeah, so we're setting up that company, and I'm currently, getting feedback from everyone in all sectors. I've built the website already. I did it in full Filipino, but because we want to target Filipinos who cannot access healthcare and education. So, and it's something funny, because if we want to get deeper into colonization, Filipinos, we were conditioned to be ashamed of our language, right? We wanna hide it. So that's why people who speak Filipino are associated with a lower income, socioeconomic demographic. So we kind of wanna speak English all the time. We don't want youth talking to us in Filipino. So foreigners don't learn Filipino because people don't want to speak Filipino. So there's shame in that. We're offering physio in 3 different price ranges. And then depending on what the patients or the potential clients can afford. And that goes for the medium that they prefer as well. So there's the higher package goes for Zoom, and then they can have recordings, just give a bit of premium to that. And then the middle ones, WhatsApp or Viber, and then Messenger or phone call. Some people don't have phones, can you believe that? You don't have smartphones. So just imagine having to deliver physio on through a phone call. So those are things I'm still currently working on. One of the questions that was raised during that conference is the pandemic already exposed inequity in healthcare, right? So are we as professionals contributing to that, or are we, narrowing the gap between equity? And that kind of hits me, because it's like, I've always been serving the top market for the longest time. It's about time that kind of reach out, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna come back, in a full circle, or even more, or beyond what I can imagine. I'm gonna meet the whole team this evening. Everyone's gonna get to know each other, and I'm pretty excited about that. The website is up. We are not launching yet, but we will soon.
Awesome. Wow. Well done.
Thank you.
That's epic. Yeah.